wrestler fans, what's going on out there? Tonight is Thursday, May the 16th, and Thursday night. You know what that means. It's time for the TNA Recipe. Backed by popular demand. Been going for the past couple of weeks. Sorry about that. Been having personal things to attend to, but hey, we're back tonight. And first of all, I want to start off by saying last night here in my home, Dallas, Texas, we had quite a few tornadoes touchdown. We're in tornado season here, but we had quite a few tornadoes touchdown. So my prayers go out to everybody that's in Granbury and Arlington and Fort Worth and Grand Prairie, wherever the touching. 700 people injured, 6 people lost their lives. A lot of people lost their homes, and just know, hey, we're praying for you out there. Me and the WCC fam, we're praying for you. Y'all stay strong. And anybody out there that can help, get out there and help, volunteer, do what you can to help these people. And may God bless you, keep you. And that's all I got to say. Thank God they didn't rip through my neighborhood. But like I said, my prayers out to everybody out there who's going through this tragedy. All right, as always with me, I have our producer extraordinaire from Cali. Give it up to Cali Love, Mr. EL.CIBERNETICO.
What's going on, brother?
What's going on? How you doing, bro?
Chilling. But guess who's back? Back by popular demand as well. Mr. Ant, welcome back.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. It's good to be back. How you doing tonight? Way too kind. Cheers and everything.
No problem, sir. No problem. Go ahead, Red.
Also, we have with us Doug Barrett. Wade Barrett's little brother. What's going on?
Oh, shit. Yo, here we go. We just pissed off the TNA crowd. I'm doing good. Happy I'm not drunk tonight so I can actually speak in English. There you go. Big Red started off. So what happened, man?
You know what? I'm gonna let Ant handle up on this one tonight.
No?
You're handing the reins over to me tonight? All right. Cool. I'll be glad to take over, let everybody know what was going down tonight. Well, the show started off with Hulk Hogan coming out, and as general manager, he comes to the ring, and he's getting a pretty good reaction from the folks down there in Mississippi, probably because they hadn't seen Hulk Hogan live in such a long time. He's upset because he feels that AJ Styles turned his back on TNA, and he feels that he's going to join Aces and Eights because he didn't accept the offer to join up with Kurt Angle. But he said that Kurt Angle, he said he might as well join Aces and Eights because Kurt Angle's going to chase him all the way to Slammiversary, brother. And then he lets everybody know that the segment the main event segment for tonight's going to be Sting and Bully Ray doing their contract sign. And then Hulk Hogan, next thing he wanted to do was call out Abyss to thank him for saving everybody last week. Yes, Abyss is back and better than ever. But he calls Abyss out. Abyss doesn't come out. Instead, out comes Abyss's brother, Joseph Park. And he talked about how he watched from Chicago as his brother returned, and he said he couldn't believe it. Hogan says that he's not messing around and that TNA does need Abyss more than ever. But then in the middle of their conversation, Aces and Eights music starts playing, and out comes Devon with D'Lo Brown. Devon complains about Abyss coming back and says that the pin wasn't legit because he wasn't the legal man. That's his claim. And he never tagged anybody. Well, that's neither here nor there. Joseph Park gets in his face and says that, he's had it with Devon and his band of buddies, and he challenges him to a match right there, right now. But then D'Lo asks if he can be the one to kick Joseph Park's ass tonight. Hogan books the match between Joseph Park and Devon for later on in the night. And that was the opening segment to the show. What do you guys think of the opening segment? Anybody else check that out?
I did.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay,
yeah,
no problem. I'm going to be honest. When Hogan came out, yeah, I muted the TV and put on subtitles. But I pretty much, to me, here's my thing. AJ, I'm going to be honest, it just feels like he's being the 1997 Sting. And I know they have a match at Slammiversary coming up, Angle vs. AJ. Is it just me, this kind of reminding you guys of Lex Luger and Sting from, I can't believe I'm saying this again, 97? When Luger didn't know if Sting could be trusted or not, but that's there.
Right. Well, that's what the whole AJ Styles thing is that we don't know if he could be trusted, and they're acting like, and there he is, AJ Styles is being quiet. AJ Styles kind of reminded me, he's like the Sting in this current storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to bring it up, but I'm old, so I don't forget much. But in Abyss, of Joseph Parks, okay, this is when I have to be super nerdy. Anyone who's watched TNA long enough knows Abyss and Joseph Parks are the same fucking person, damn it.
Of course.
I mean, who are they? They're not
play
fooling...
along with the fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, they're not fooling us. They're fooling the younger fans who don't remember Abyss too well. They're fooling them perfectly, which I'll say, hey, congratulations, you're fooling them. But everybody else, we're not that damn stupid. My humble opinion. And then we find out it's D'Lo versus Joseph Parks, and I'm happy for D'Lo. He got the main event for the first time in his life.
Yeah, that'll be the beginning and the end of that.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to last about a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but hopefully, it'll be maybe more of a sip of coffee.
Maybe.
Maybe. And after that, they show footage of James Storm when he did the last call super kick on both tag teams from last week. And the camera guy's trying to ask him, on that post-match attack, like, what made him do it. He says that he tells the cameraman to leave watch, and then he walks away. James Storm got his own beef going on with all the tag teams, it looks like. Then next we had a singles match between Bobby Roode and Chavo Guerrero, which I thought was an alright match. They wrestled for a while, but it was a pretty nice back-and-forth match. Chavo got the upper hand for a bit, did a head scissors takedown, even did a little springboard to the outside, but then Roode knocked him off the apron down to the floor. And during the back-and-forth match, who comes to the ring? James Storm comes down to the ring drinking a bottle of beer, and he spit the beer in Roode's face, and then the referee rang the bell. Now, I'm not sure. I was like, well, who won the match? Because they never announced if there was a winner or not. I wasn't sure if it was a double disqualification or if Bobby Roode gets to win because the beer was spit in his face.
Right.
But then they played James Storm's music. I'm like, well, who won? Did James Storm win? Jokingly, of course. What did you guys think? Because I thought it was a pretty good match before James Storm came in.
Yeah, it was a good match.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, because it seems like Bobby Roode and Chavo got some good chemistry going on in the ring there.
I agree.
Right.
At first I thought he was gonna get a little payback on Bobby Roode and smash the bottle over his face because it's like that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I love the match. The only question is, you're gonna say the Dale spit is a disqualification? I'm like, I can understand if you can overside the head with the damn bail bottle, but to you in the eyes, I'm like, yeah.
I mean, it was outside interference, no matter what,
Yeah, it was outside interference, but I just kind of feel like the ending could have been done a little better, but other than that, it was a great match.
It was, and like I said, they didn't even announce who the winner actually was.
They
didn't say the winner by disqualification. They didn't say if it was a no contest. What?
No, they didn't say anything, but no one most likely when I check TNA.com tomorrow to find out who was the winner. I guarantee it's going to say Bobby Roode by disqualification.
Right. A couple of the sites that I looked at, they said that Bobby Roode won by DQ. But after that, Bobby Roode, he rolled out of the ring, was trying to get the fear out of his eyes. And, Storm's just staring at him. Nothing really happened there. He just, letting them know, hey, I got my eye on you. So let's see, next thing that happened, Kurt Angle, he came out to the ring and said that he can't even trust anybody in TNA anymore. Even AJ Styles walked away. And Kurt Angle says that he never backs down from a fight, and he had said that Hulk Hogan, he made a match for them at Slammiversary, and he's calling out AJ Styles tonight. He's trying to call him out tonight. He said he doesn't want to wait for the fight, but before anything could happen, Aces and Eights makes their presence felt again. And Ken Anderson, Mr. Anderson, Ken Anderson, whatever you want to call him, he comes out instead and says that that next week, Aces and Eights is going to patch AJ Styles into their gang. And then Kurt Angle goes ahead and punches Anderson in the face with the microphone and chases him from the ring, but then AJ Styles sneaks up from behind, and after a quick stare down, AJ kicks Kurt Angle in the side of the head and leaves him laying on the mat, and you see Mr. Anderson out there celebrating. So we're supposed to all wonder, well, being that AJ Styles just knocked out Kurt Angle and didn't do a thing to Mr. Anderson, does this mean that AJ Styles is Aces and Eights?
I don't think he's Aces and Eights.
I don't either. It's just what they're doing to make the fans wonder. They know what they're doing. They're saying, hey, now you're going to wonder. No, I think he attacked Kurt Angle because if you watched last week, Kurt Angle attacked him first.
I didn't watch it last week. I just think it's AJ just wanting to just piss off Kurt Angle because he loves doing that.
Well, he has been kind of trying to piss him off for years. Yeah, but that's all it was. I think that it was a receipt for Kurt Angle attacking him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't. Yeah, that's all that was. And after leaving Kurt Angle laying on the mat, he just walked away, didn't say a word. And next up, we had the match between Christian York and Jay Bradley, two guys who both won TNA gut check. Jay Bradley, the younger dude, and I've heard a little bit about him. Christian York is a guy that I've known from the independent scene from back when I was 16, 17. He used to wrestle out in the Pittsburgh area a lot. It's cool to see him finally get to be on the national stage and everything. But the matches they had, it wasn't a bad match. York did his thing, and Bradley, it was a good back and forth match. York went for the mood swing but missed. And then Bradley came off the rope and hit what he calls the boomstick, which is basically a clothesline from hell for the 1, 2, 3. And then what made this match meaningful is that it was for a spot to wrestle in a match at Slammiversary to decide who was going to, in that match, they're going to decide who's going to get a chance to be in the Bound for Glory series. So while it just looked like a match between two mid-card guys, it was actually a very meaningful match for the two of them. What do you guys think?
It was a pretty good match. I liked it. I mean, finally, they finally bringing up, some of the guys from Gut Check.
Right. I wish that they would bring up more of those guys. It's like you had them win. Why not have them wrestle on the show more often?
Right.
And what was I going to say about it? You know what? I forgot what I was going to say about this particular match outside of saying that it was a pretty good match and it was good to bring up a couple more guys from Gut Check. Like we said, I wish they would bring up a few more. And, Jay Bradley, he actually did a quick interview afterwards saying that this is the start of him getting his shot at the world title. So the crowd actually booed him because everybody likes Christian York because Christian York is a guy that's in his, mid-30s. He's a bit late to the party, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all right. So he'll get another chance at some point. But, hey, Jay Bradley won the night then. And then after that, backstage, James Storm came out of Hogan's office, and he was upset. He said that that Holster told him that his actions had repercussions, but it's apparently not true of everybody else. And he's upset because it's one of the things where the people attack me, but I'm not allowed to fight back. And he just tells the fans to keep watching and then walks off. Backstage, Aces and Ace are celebrating. Anderson is saying that there's no doubt that where AJ Styles' allegiance is now. And he tells D'Lo Brown to go out there and kick some ass tonight. And as you see, D'Lo Brown hasn't even been wearing his jacket. He got demoted, so he has to wear the Aces and Ace T-shirt instead. And then Brooke Hogan, and this was weird because they introduced Gail Kim and Velvet Sky first, and then went to commercial, and then they showed that segment with Brooke Hogan talking to Mickie James about her album, and Mickie James saying how she's going to be in the spotlight at Slammiversary, but then Brooke made that Mickie James Velvet Sky match for next week, and then I believe after that, Bully Ray came at her and was talking about how they're still married and all that stuff. It was weird because, like I said, they introduced two people first, went to commercial, and then had like a 5-minute segment. You can tell that it was kind of out of place.
Right.
But then they had... Well, go ahead. What were you going to say?
That was confusing to me because I was like, what? I'm like, did I miss the match or something? Did this end off camera?
That's what I thought. It was clear that it was out of order. But then we get to the match between Gail Kim and Velvet Sky, but it was a non-title match, and it was, like I said, it was a good match, but it wasn't as fast-paced and as aggressive as they had been in the previous week. You know what I mean? And I've been enjoying ODB as the Knockouts referee, but they need to start having her wrestle again too.
Yeah.
But then we saw that Velvet Sky, of course, Gail Kim was, taking a shot at her knee that Velvet has been favoring. Gail Kim tried putting her in a Texas Cloverleaf in the middle of the ring, but Velvet made it to the bottom rope. When she tries to hit her finisher, she can't do it because of her knee. But then Velvet hits a roll-up out of nowhere to get the win on Gail Kim. Then afterwards, Gail Kim attacks her and tries doing that a little figure four thing off, hanging from the turnbuckle move that Bret Hart used to do. But Gail Kim was doing that. They're trying to injure Velvet Sky's knee, and then ODB actually had to get her off of her, and then them two had some more. But after the hold was broken up, the damage was already done. So what did you guys think of the match itself? Like I said, it wasn't as aggressive as the past couple weeks, but it was all right.
Who wants to go first?
From what I saw, it was all right. Could have been better.
Right. I don't know if maybe they were just having an off week or what, because we know that the girls over in Impact Wrestling, they bring in more than any other group of women in wrestling. Then after that, we had the X Division Championship match. We saw their little skits where they were talking about one other Kenny King and Chris Sabin, but for some reason, Petey Williams didn't get any words in. What was up with that? Well, they had their match, and I thought that this was the best match of the night, because this was a good X Division match between three great athletes. Good to see Petey Williams again. Good to see Chris Sabin. I like Kenny King as champ right now, but I'm wondering how long will it be before Chris Sabin takes the title. Because Kenny King hit the Royal Flush, got the pin, but he pinned Williams, not Sabin, because Sabin didn't look bad.
Well, all one can really say is when you have two former champions, especially Sabin, who's a 4-time champion and who has been in a double-digit number of Ultimate X matches. Then, of course, you got Petey Williams with the most devastating finisher in TNA, the Canadian Destroyer. And then, of course, you got the current champ, the pretty boy Pitbull himself, Kenny freaking King. I'm not surprised it was match of the night. I didn't really see how any match was going to top it. And they brought
I didn't think any match could top it either.
Nope.
There were some great high spots, but there weren't a bunch of high spots. That's what I liked. You know, it wasn't like a
There
spot.
was actually a lot of striking, too, believe it or not. There was a lot of kicking.
It wasn't a spot monkey match.
No, it was a straight-up match.
All right, what everybody else thinks?
Yeah, I already knew it was going to be the show stealer tonight.
I enjoyed it, but everybody knows my opinion on Kenny King. When he finally loses the belt, I will be celebrating.
Are you going to be celebrating? Well, you don't like Kenny King?
Let's say this. If I had to choose between cheering for Zack Ryder or Kenny King, I'll pick Zack Ryder.
Oh, man, it's that
Wow.
bad. See, there's somebody like Kenny King. He's been my boy since he was on the second season of Tough Enough and made it all the way to the end and didn't get picked. So I always gave him props because even after that, he kept trying and kept going. And after, 10 years, he finally made it. And he was in Ring of Honor before, so you know what I mean. After 10 years, he finally got his chance to be on a show that's on Spike TV, that's on prime time and everything. So for me, I like it about, hey, what can I say? I like the underdog. And then,
you just said the main reason, one of the reasons why I don't like him, because of that Ring of Honor situation. Ring of Honor, but I blame him too.
Yeah, what he did there wasn't right. He definitely left him in the lurch.
It wasn't. It wasn't right at all.
After that match, let's see, they had D'Lo. They were back to aces and aces. Thanks, Mr. Anderson, for saving him from getting his head smashed by a hammer last week, and that things have been getting out of control. Anderson cut them up and says that things are getting out of control, but because he buried two young talents in Wes Briscoe and Garrett Bischoff while trying to get himself over. So even though we didn't really see much of Garrett and Wes this week, you saw that they got brought up. Because they're blaming, you know how it goes when you lose and you're out of favor with aces and aces, sounds like they blame their guys for everything. So after that segment, we had Hernandez versus Christopher Daniels. And this was another good match that actually showed me why Hernandez should get another push as a single star. Because him and Christopher, he showed that he can go with a smaller guy like Christopher Daniels and still have a good match and not be winded or sucking air or anything like that. And he even did some of his Super Mex moves and everything.
The one thing I will say about Hernandez is this. Everybody talks about Samoa Joe and his size and what he can do with his size. You can't leave Hernandez out. Hernandez is around the same size as Joe. And the things that the man can do, many people said he is possibly the strongest man in TNA. When you can do the things that he can do, whether it be border tossing Matt Morgan or diving over the ropes in ways that not even X Division athletes can do, the one thing I was always sad for him was, remember when he had the Feast or Fired briefcase for the TNA World title shot and he never got to cash it in?
Right, never got to cash it in. I
sad.
remember that. And he was getting a nice push. And I was thinking, man, he can. And it was to the point where I could see him as the world champion, especially during that time.
I actually had him as world champion in a few points, but I said it last week, and I'll say it again. I like Hernandez. I just don't like him in this tag team. I don't know why TNA dropped the ball in his push. I mean, you don't push him, but yet you push Psycho Sid 2.0, Matt Morgan. Come on.
But I think that part of his de-pushing, it happened once Hulk Hogan showed up. And all of a sudden, Hernandez wasn't getting pushed anymore once Hulk Hogan was in the fold. But, we can blame Hogan for a lot of it. But that was one of them.
It would take more than this show to point out all the things.
Oh, yeah. We'd be here for a couple hours.
It would take more than this show and then some. But
you saw
I don't have no facts for that.
Kazarian tried to jump in during the match, but then James Storm made his way down to the ring, and you don't know if he was evening things up or what. But Christopher Daniels was beat with a shoulder block from Super Mex, and Super Mex got the win. And then after that, James Storm got on the mic to announce that there was going to be a 4-way tag match with Chavo and Hernandez defending the belts against Bad Influence, Bobby Roode and Aries, and then one more person, James Storm, and he's going to choose a partner of his choice. And
by the way, on a side note, did you see Daniels and Kazarian's reactions? I thought that was hilarious. It's like, three-way, we can do it, and then Storm goes, and then Daniels is like, wait, and?
Like, with the three-way,
I mean, they were acting a fool.
But I have a question. Who do you think that James Storm's partner is going to be?
America's Most Wanted's coming back.
If Christopher Daniels has anything to say about it, not Chris Harris, because that's going to bring up some bad memories for him.
Here's the thing. I wouldn't mind it being Chris. I would love for it to be Chris Harris and for them to reform America's Most Wanted.
If it is Chris Harris, then you know what? I got to pick America's Most Wanted to get the belts. If it is Harris, I see him winning the Slammiversary.
For such a long time. Yeah, nobody's seen Chris Harris in a while, so I could see it being him. But at the same time, he might also pick Eric Young. We haven't seen Eric Young since, the last pay-per-view that they did. And he stood out in that pay-per-view. Yeah, we haven't seen Eric Young in a while, so it could be him. Or maybe he'll pick Suicide. Who knows what route they're going to go with this.
Although if he does pick Suicide, Suicide's going to have to do double duty because Suicide's already booked at Slammiversary anyway because he's going to be in a triple threat for the X Division title along with Saban.
Or it is. I forgot all about that, so it can't be Suicide. So yeah, maybe it'll be Chris Harris, maybe it'll be Eric Young, or maybe it'll be somebody else. Maybe it'll be Rob Van Dam. You never know.
Or it could even be Abyss for all we know. Maybe even him. I don't know.
It can be anybody. Yeah, it could be anybody that they have. Anybody that's available. And then the main event was, the main event match, not the main event segment, was D'Lo Brown versus Joseph Park. And this is where I laughed because I was like, hey, D'Lo Brown has never main evented any wrestling show that's, like a national wrestling show in WWE or TNA until now. Joseph Park came out, and as always, Joseph Park with his facial expressions and the way he acted, it was like Joseph Park, like I said, he cracks me up. But he had started bleeding, he was busted open by D'Lo, and when he got himself when he thought he was bleeding, he went into his praise state and did the Black Hole Slam, just like his quote-unquote brother Abyss, and got the pin. But then after he got the pin and the music's playing and everything, he acts like he forgot what happened and he didn't remember it, which was pretty fun. But, not a bad match from two bigger fellows going at it in the ring. D'Lo Brown's an old veteran, so he's one of those guys that he can go. He knows what to do already.
He's a pretty athletic dude for a guy his size and for a guy his age.
Right. He's that guy that whenever people get a tryout with TNA, they like to put them in the ring with him. They like to put him so we know what D'Lo Brown could do, and Joseph Park didn't do so bad himself. So what does this mean with D'Lo Brown losing again for his team? That's the question.
Na 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 na.
Yeah, are they going to get rid of him? And then after that, we have the contract signing between Sting and Bully Ray. JB was at the podium setting up the contract signing. He introduced Bully Ray first. He threw JB out the ring, which I thought was pretty funny. And, he says this whole thing he always says, like, you know who I am, and all that stuff. And he said he's got to beat Jeff Hardy at his own game by defeating him at Full Metal Man. He said this isn't a contract signing. This is going to be a negotiation. Out comes Sting, and Bully calls out Hogan as well, and he makes up the stipulation that if Sting doesn't win for the rest of his career, he'll get a shot at the title ever again.
Yeah, Bully didn't say as long as he was champion. He meant never again in the rest of his career. Now, You want to talk about some high stakes.
For a guy that, I don't know, for a guy that's in his 50s and has already been champion like 13 or 14 times, is that really such a bad stipulation?
Not really.
Yeah, if I've already been champion a whole bunch of times, does it really matter?
Plus, it's another way to put Bully over, considering how I personally, I think Bully's been great during the heel run.
He has.
You know,
it's one of those things where, as far as aces and eights goes, the rest of them might be a bunch of bums, but he stands out. He's one of the top heels in pro wrestling right now. He's done a great job in his resurgence as a singles guy.
And what it also ensures is that we won't have to see Sting constantly challenge for the belt for another consecutive year at Slammiversary like he's done the past 4, including this year.
Yeah, but that's all. I mean, it's all right. But it's up to Andy. Can Sting win the title, or is this going to be, or is this possibly their way of slowly phasing Sting out? That's what it could always be. And it's going to be a no.
And then again, most of the time, whenever he's involved in stuff like that lately, it usually hasn't been around the TNA title anyway.
Right. I think we're going to start seeing Sting, maybe, if he loses, maybe this is a good way to phase him out and put him into more of a role of just being, used as more of a special attraction type. Now, and it ended with after the contracts were signed, things started beating the crap out of Bully Ray, and the show went off the air with them fighting one another, which I like how they ended that with 2 guys fighting.
Yeah, I think that was a good, strong finish.
I do too, but I'm going to be honest. If Sting does lose, which I think is going to happen, if TNA is smart, either A, you use him as a special attraction, or B, you use him to push the younger talent so this future starts for this business.
Which is what they should have been doing in the first place.
Shit, that's what I would do. I mean, that's why I'm applauding, and I know he's not on TNA, but that's why I'm applauding Chris Jericho right now. Because that's what he's doing.
Put over younger talent, even if he's not there. And it's the same thing.
It's the fact that as soon as Hogan got there and stuff like that, it's like we're gonna bring TNA to new heights. All this new talent, but they haven't pushed the new talent for the most part.
And they have a nice roster of guys that are in their 20s and 30s that they could be pushing. They're not.
Hell, even guys like Christopher Daniels, who's around the same age as Jericho. He's starting to look. He's starting to look better than even in his younger days. I mean, the dude.
You're right.
What can't he do in a sense?
Right. Oh yeah, I absolutely agree.
Get a TNA title match apparently.
Well, I have everybody on the line. I was wondering, and we didn't get a chance to really get into this last week, but have you guys heard about Austin Aries getting in trouble?
He was getting fined apparently for the whole thing of Christie.
It
was fucking stupid.
Yeah, well, look, what he did is considered sexual harassment. I understand everybody's going to be like, that's the hill, what hills do, but this was off script.
Here's the problem, though.
Well,
and Chavo Guerrero brought it up. He saw Christy in the back. She didn't look upset or mad. She kind of giggled at it.
Right, but Spike TV, I don't know, but it was a nervous laugh. Spike TV wouldn't have decided that they were...
Wait. But Quan pointed this up on the page. It's like, wait a minute. The same Spike TV that has Mansers and all those other types of programs, and yet they're concerned about this?
Right, yeah, I'm like, 1,000 Ways to Die?
Those are all...
It's like, well, all the shows you already have on there, you're concerned about that?
Well, it would be... It
wouldn't even really in her face.
But it would be just like if Cinemax showed softcore porn, but I'm sure that nobody in the corporate offices could sexually harass another person. It was what he did, and now Spike TV's vice president of communications They themselves said that this was sexual harassment. Dixie Carter said it was sexual harassment. And what it looks like they just did was they had him apologize to her, and he just got a fine. And you know what? That'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
It'll definitely
and
be
it
the
also, as
end.
if
he made a stupid mistake.
As if there was any doubt that he and Rude weren't going to win in my opinion, as much as there was any doubt that he and Rude weren't going to win at Slammiversary, I just think that kind of goes along with, it's just a cumulative effect. I don't know, just...
Yeah, I have
just
a
as long
feeling,
as it blows over.
I have a very strong feeling TNA may find him, but I guarantee you, they're going to punish him, and they're not going to have them win the belt at Slammiversary. I guarantee you that.
But the one thing I'll say about that is, depending on who Storm's partner is, that's probably the biggest factor anyway. So
right.
There was a lot of reasons. There's many reasons. I just don't think they're going to win at Slammiversary.
I agree.
Whether it be
it's all going to depend on. It's all going to depend on who Storm's partner.
Exactly.
If it's Chris Harris, like you said, I can see America's Most Wanted winning the tag belts. But at the same time, with the tag team division lacking the way it is, which they could be taking some of those gut check guys and maybe putting some of them in tag teams to help bolster that up, you don't really need Rude and Aries as a tag. They're both guys to make better singles competitors. They should be gunning for the world title right now. Heck, maybe Rude should probably still be champion, in my opinion. But hey, aces and eights need to have top guy be in their group, so it makes sense.
They've been quite a tag team, and for two singles guys, they may be better as singles guys, but they are very accomplished. Rude is the longest reigning world champion. Aries beat the longest reigning world champion and was the longest reigning X Division champion and never lost a belt. That is a pretty potent combination. Both of these dudes are so savvy in the ring. They when their egos don't get in the way. I know Rhodes Scholars always talks about how they're the smartest tag team. They pale in comparison to Rude and Aries when it comes to ring smarts and cunning.
You know what? You may be correct. Yeah, they're there also. And you have two guys, like, at least with Rude, he's been a tag team guy before, so he knows how to be in a tag team.
He knows something about it, beer money.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Exactly. Yeah, like I said, I didn't feel that this was an overall great. I mean, it wasn't like a spectacular show. I gave it like a 5.5, really, on the scale this week.
Yeah, I give it about a 5. And that's only because of the X Division match.
Yeah, the X Division match, they did a good job this week. I have no complaints there.
Man, just what I would have loved to see is, though, I would have loved to see it be an Ultimate X match. I know I'm not in favor of overusing the Ultimate X match all the time, but I'll tell you what, those are three dudes I'd love to see in there go at it, because all three of them have won an Ultimate X match. All three of them have.
But you never know. We have a few weeks before Slammiversary. They can still announce it. Because while they consider Bound for Glory their WrestleMania, I always thought that Slammiversary should be their WrestleMania. That's just my
especially for the fact that it commemorates the anniversary of TNA really first starting. So, yeah, you could definitely make a case that Slammiversary, in a sense, is more important than Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory may be considered their WrestleMania, but let's not forget, Slammiversary, it's called that because it's the anniversary of TNA's beginning.
Right. The anniversary of the company that people have written off year after year. Oh, they're going to close. They're going to shut down. Which I've heard since they're not going to make it to 1 year. They're not going to make it to 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, so on and so forth. And hey, here they are. They're a distant number 2, but they're the number 2 country, or they're the number 2 company in the United States.
And it's the fact that you have great competitors in the world title scene, and as much as anything, the tag team and X Division divisions. Those were two of the driving forces. You can make a case for any one aspect of TNA that has carried them to this point, whether it be the X Division, whether it be the tag division, or whether it be some of the great feuds over the NWA and eventually TNA world titles. Hell, some people could even make a case about the Knockouts division, for all we know.
Knockouts division is some of their that's some of their highest rated stuff.
Well, as someone who's well finished.
Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize, but as someone who's watched TNA since when it started and stopped watching too much after Hogan and Eric came in and then got back into it, I don't think it's not going to kill off. It's going to remain the second company in the United States. Anyone who thinks it's going to die off is stupid. But is it ever going to be WWE? Because I know that's all most of the TNA fans who only watch TNA. No, that ain't going to happen either. WWE is going to be king. That'd be like saying soccer is going to would beat up the NFL. TNA's got a good thing going. It's going to be second. Could it get to first place one day? Yeah, but it's not in the no future, no. And the only way it's going to die off is this. Hogan wins the belt. If that happens, yeah, TNA's dead. If he doesn't win the belt, TNA will live.
Here's another
winning the belt.
Another problem with this is the fact that there's been talks about the fact that Hogan apparently, supposedly, maybe winning the world title of Bound for Glory. But what would make it even worse would be the fact that it essentially would negate the Bound for Glory series, since they're apparently having it this year.
Right. That's what I was wondering. When people are saying that there's a possibility he could win it, which, as we've said, if you really want the title, he could have it.
And then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, but
how are you going to do it, right? The possibility that if they're having a series, then he's probably not going to
win. Which pretty much is going to negate the crap out of the Bound for Glory series, which not a good idea. The Bound for Glory series to me has been quite entertaining. For you to have 10 or so guys give it their all week after week, try and get a shot at TNA's biggest pay-per-view of the year, and then you negate all that for a man who, with all due respect, he can barely keep up in a match. Ric Flair could probably move circles around him in that ring, and Flair is no spring chicken either. And you have an artificial hip, by the way.
Well, Hulk Hogan can't wrestle at all, right? That's the thing. He can't wrestle at all.
And for anybody that's like, well, and for anybody that thinks it would be something great to see Hogan back in the ring, look at Bound for Glory 2 years ago against Sting.
All right.
If you need any confirmation.
Hey, fellas, we're running out of time. We got to start wrapping it up in a minute here. I just got a text from Mel.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, hey, y'all listen to the TNA Recipe every Thursday, 30 minutes after TNA Impact goes off. The number to call is 760-569-7676. Again, that number is 760-569-7676. Access code 200-446-pound. Again, 200-446-pound. Make sure you hit that pound and you're not getting in. To let you know, on May 30th, we will be going an hour later, as Impact will be going back to the 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern time slot. So I had to throw that in there. Hey, Ant, let them know where you can find you at.
All right, as always, you can find my columns at www.kfakickout.com. I write fresh columns every week, and we always have some good stuff there for the latest news, interviews with wrestlers on the independent scene, columns from a lot of different wrestling promotions out there. We have guys I've written about WWE, TNA, Independent, NWA, you name it. We have it all there at www.kfakickout.com. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Who'sAntTop.
All right. Now you can find us at Twitter at WCC Live. Also on Facebook at Facebook groups/Wrestling Commentary Central. Also, you can find me on Twitter at Reddon81. That's REDDON81. I also hit up my like page on Facebook and hit up my group's Facebook page, Men of Passion. Hey, anything else before we go?
Don't forget to call into the main event tomorrow night.
Right. Every Friday night, the main event, 30 minutes after SmackDown. Every Monday is the sister show right after Raw. Every Tuesday night, Overload with EL.CIBERNETICO and Mr. Jones. Every Wednesday night is Ring Rockers with Mr. Reese. Also, Sex Battles with Mr. Jacob Marshall. And hey, that's about it. I guess I'll be back in here in a minute. I guess we can talk freely to then.